Okay, what's up, everybody? I did a little clip earlier today to give you a heads up about what the conversation would be tonight. And it's really crazy to hear myself say it out loud. Not only that, but to recognize how many people actually feel like this. I want to change my life, but I don't want my life to change. I'm just going to say it again for the people in the back. I want to change my life, but I don't want my life to change. It's crazy and painful to say. Painful from the aspect of I get it. I've been that person. Wanting to change my life, but afraid for my life to change. I get it. You can be so wrapped up in your life, so invested in what you have right now, that you can't fathom the thought of it changing. What is it going to look like if it changes? What is it going to look like if I move? Some of y'all want to move from where you've lived your whole life to have a different experience. You know that there's more for you. You know that you want more. You want to be more. You want to see more. You want to experience more. But you're too afraid to let go of where you've always been. Because what is it going to be like when I get somewhere else? It's going to be new. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be scary. But you can do it. Nothing in your life will change until you change something in your life. And it doesn't matter how afraid you are. Listen to me. It does not matter how afraid you are. Do it afraid. How many things in your life have you been scared to do that you did? How many? Think about it. How much stuff have you been afraid to do, but you did it? We were probably scared to go to preschool for the first time, but we did it. We cried, but we did it. You got that first job, you were terrified because you didn't want to fail, but you did it. You got in that first relationship, not knowing if it was going to last, if it was going to succeed or fail, and you were all excited and all giddy because you love him and he's so good, and you love her and she shakes and speaks in tongues, and we going to be together forever, and it didn't. Right now, some of y'all can't stand each other that you thought you would never be able to live without, and it scared you to think of what it would be like, but you did it. The number of people around us or that we know who are just deathly afraid of their lives changing is staggering. One of the comments under the clip that I posted earlier said, but people are just used to what they have. I get that. I get that. But just because you're doing something the way you've always done it doesn't mean that's the way you should always do it. Just because that's the way it's always been done doesn't mean that was the right way. Just because you are afraid doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. We go through all kind of emotions about things. We go through all kind of emotions about decisions. We go through all kind of emotions about people. And all that does is keep us in the same spot. Some of us have lived the same year 20 times because we were afraid. So we do nothing and still are miserable and still waiting for something to be different, but too afraid to make it different. You're going to miss every single shot you don't take. Every question you don't ask, the answer is always no. Every move you don't make was a success that never happened. You have to be willing to move. I understand being scared. Listen, I understand being scared. I understand being terrified. I understand being scared to the point where you walking the floor at night and I want to go to sleep looking out the window kind of scared. But at some point, you just got to go to sleep. I remember being so scared one time because I was so sick. I thought it's funny to me now. It wasn't funny to me then. I thought I was gonna die. And I thought if I just stay up, I'm gonna be okay. I thought it. If I just don't go to sleep, I'm gonna be okay. It doesn't matter if you are asleep, awake, in the car, on the plane, riding a bike, walking down the street, sitting at the desk, in the dentist's office, on the operating table, performing the operation, the pilot in the plane, driving the bus. It doesn't matter how afraid you are of going. One day you going. Fear doesn't stop. Listen, time is undefeated. It doesn't matter how afraid you are of it. And we need to think of things in our lives like that. It doesn't matter how afraid I am of it. I need to jump. I need to jump. Nothing in your life is going to move without you moving it. That's like thinking, man, I want this job and it's the job of my dreams, but you never fill out the application. You somehow think by osmosis, you're going to get this job. That's not how it happens. You have to do something. You have to put the work in. If you never make a move, guess what? You never make a move. You never make a move. A hamster wheel of experience is what you will have wrestling with fear. You can't wrestle with fear. You can't wrestle with fear. And this might make some of y'all upset. You're no match for fear. You don't wrestle with fear. You don't get into the ring to tangle with your fear. You just face it. I am not ashamed. I don't like spiders. I had a bad experience. I'm here with my sister. I don't like spiders. A spider almost made me throw my entire shoulder out fighting the air. I walked into a spider web and I promise I almost gave myself a concussion. I didn't even see the spider, it was just the web. I was terrified of spiders. I still don't like them. I don't want it on me. But it's nothing like it used to be. Because guess what? One, I live by myself. My dog, he ain't about that spider life either. If I want a spider out of the house, I got to get it out. It doesn't matter how afraid I am of it. It doesn't matter what dance I do. It doesn't matter if I get the broom or the mop. I got to get it. You have to face what you're afraid of. You have to face it. I was forced to face my fear of spiders. And that's the thing. If I'm not mistaken, there's a scripture in the Bible that says the thing I feared the most has come upon me. Thank you, Job. You can have so much fear that you just continue to attract things that make you afraid. You have to be willing to move. You have to. Some of you are in jobs that you know you should no longer be in. It's no longer serving you. You've outgrown it. There's nowhere else for you to go, and you're unhappy and you're angry and you're taking it out on the people around you because you're not happy at work and you feel powerless to change it. Change it. Change it. Yeah, I know. We got to pay the bills. We got the DTE bills, or wherever you at, the light bill keeps coming. Every month they send you another one. I paid it. It comes back. The car note has to be paid. The mortgage has to be paid. The rent has to be paid. But you don't have to be miserable every single day to do it. Why not take a chance doing what you really love? What is it? If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. But some of us will sit at a job that is sucking the entire life out of us, out of our families, out of our kids, and continue to do it day after day. And guess what? You resent everything and everybody. All because you're a coward. If we just get down to the bottom line of it, if we just get down to the crux of it, you're battling with being a coward. I only said, been there. We tiptoe around things with people, and some things just need to be said flat out so we can understand it. Some of us have been in relationships that we know should have ended. We have not grown together, we have grown apart. And every day you look at her or you look at him and you feel like, I have given you the best years of my life and I'm still sick of you. But it's convenient to have you here. You're a warm body when it's cold. You're sex when I need it. You know, you don't complain. You still cook. You still wash the clothes. But I hate to see you come. And I don't want to be with you. But I'm however old. I've given you the best years of my life. Who is going to be with me if it's not you? Guess what? You'll never know. If you resolve to just be miserable because you're too afraid to do what you need to do. I'm sorry. Some of y'all need to put your kids out. I didn't want my mama to have to put me out. And she always made the offer for me to come back home. I know it stayed my welcome. Sometimes I feel like I did. But I didn't. Some of y'all have overstayed your welcome in places because you're too afraid to move. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing what you know you need to do in the presence of fear or despite being afraid. You got to be able to move. I want my life to change. I want to change my life. But I don't want my life to change. Then it won't change. Some of us are living the lives that we have spoken into existence. And we're too afraid to speak something different. Too afraid to experience something different. And then we sit back and we look at other people and we think, why they living the life? If only I could live the life that they're living. Let me tell you about that. What they have paid for that life, you don't want. You don't want. You don't want to grow up in a home where you're abused or neglected. You didn't want that. You might not have been able to handle that life. I having a mom or a dad, growing up with a dad who was strung out on drugs and selling everything out of the house, who had no concern for a house full of women. You want that? Because you want what they got. But the road that they travel to get there, you too afraid to go for the job you want, but you got the courage to live somebody else's life. I'm telling you, if you have done anything in the past couple of years, if you haven't looked at the world, if you haven't looked at how things are going, open your eyes. Don't go through life with your eyes wide shut. Look at it. Look at it. See how things are happening. Do you see how it's happening? Do you see how it's winding up? Can you tell? Can you feel it? Can you feel it in the air? Tell me that you really want to spend the rest of your life like that. You don't know how much of it you got left. You want to spend the rest of it like that? Discontented, diseased. Some of y'all sick because you've been making the wrong decisions. It has affected you emotionally to the point that it's showing up in your body and you're still too afraid to get out. Some of you are holding on to rope so tight that it's cutting off the circulation in your hand. You're so afraid to let it go. It's doing more damage to hold on than to let it go. The pain of holding on is worse than the pain of letting go. But you're too afraid because you're too invested in right now, even though you ain't even happy with right now. Invested, but not happy. Nothing's going to change until you change it. Nothing's going to move until you move it. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I won't say who she is, but she said, I was talking to her about this particular subject, and she said, that's my life. And she gave her age, and she said, I can't believe that I'm still here doing this when I really want to do that. But I'm so afraid of what's going to happen if I do it. Then you have what you wanted. That's what's the worst that can happen if you go for what you want. You might not get it, and then you stuck where you at right now. That's the where you at right now is the worst. That's the worst you're gonna have. But what if you get it? What if you go for it? It works out. It's actually where you were supposed to be. Listen, I said before, there are two types of pain. There's the pain of change. And you know that I'm hurting right now, but I'm going somewhere. Then there's the pain of just sitting in misery, not going anywhere, not taking a step forward or backwards, just stuck. Yeah. Any of y'all ever been stuck? Like in the mud or in Michigan, in the snow? You ever been in the corner in the curb lane and it's been snowing and that back tire gets stuck in the snow and what do you want to do? You want to gun it because that's what we do. We drive in Michigan. I'm going to get out. And you put it in reverse, spinning, and then in drive, spinning, and then reverse. And you have dug a bigger hole that you can't get out of. And you rocking. You got a good little rock going, but you ain't going nowhere. Think about your life like that. When you're too afraid. Oh, you digging a bigger hole. You spinning your wheels real fast, making smoking noise, but you ain't going nowhere. When the noise is done, when the smoke clears, you're in the same spot. And guess what? Now you got to call for some help. Now you got to call somebody to come to this spot and get you out. Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Is it really worth 10 years of your life? Doing the same thing, day after day, month after month, week after week, day after day, hour after hour. It's got to be exhausting. It's got to be exhausting. You got to be tired. Some of us, the tiredness starting to show on our faces. We going to the doctor more when you can get in. We taking more pills. We taking more pills because we feeling worse. But we're not doing more. Just more of the same thing. Like what would it take for you to decide I'm doing it? And you know what? It's not that we're not getting the unction. It's not that God's not giving us the push. It's not that he's not giving ideas. It's not that he's not introducing new things, because he is. It's not that he's not telling us, hey, come off this path, get over here. Listen, I like to call this the Peter principle. Y'all remember when Peter was out on the boat, because Peter was a fisherman? When Jesus found Peter, he was fishing. So when Peter got upset, with Jesus after they came off the tour. And he was upset. So he said, I'm going fishing to clear his head. Because that's what we do. When we need to clear our head, we go do something that we normally do to relax. Peter was going fishing. He's out here in his boat. He fished all night. He didn't catch anything. He was upset. I know how to fish. Shucks. I've been fishing my whole life. Fishing is what I do. It wasn't working. He's out there all night. He's so mad. He looks up. He sees Jesus. Jesus says, hey, Peter, cast your net on the other side. This is him telling Peter, you got to do something different. Say, hey, cast your net on the other side. Peter says, hey, Jesus, I know how to fish. See, we got to put this in the terms like it is. You just think that Jesus just walked up and said, hey, Peter, put your net on the other side. Oh, okay, Jesus. No. I have toiled all night. Read the story. I have toiled all night long, Jesus. It ain't nothing out here. I ain't caught nan fish. And I know how to fish. Okay? I know how to fish. Sir, I know how to fish because y'all know how we do. I know how to fish. We're not talking about practice. I know how to fish. Peter, I understand. Cast your net on the other side. Jesus, I've been out here all night. I'm about to take this net and I'm going home. This is Peter. You're in the right place. You're facing the wrong direction. Cast your net on the other side. I can imagine after fishing all night, Peter, and here's Jesus telling you, just put the net on the other side. You're afraid. I've been out here all night. I haven't caught one fish. Now here's Jesus saying, put your net on the other side. I'm not about to embarrass myself. He finally decides to listen to Jesus. He takes that net, he puts it on the other side. And the story goes, he caught so many fish in the same place he had been fishing all night. Caught so many fish that the net started to break when he was trying to pull them in. He's gathering all these fish. He looks up. He's looking for Jesus. Jesus is gone. Now he has a decision to make. Do I stay on this boat with the fish that I finally got, or do I go after Jesus? After thinking about it for a minute, Peter decides, I'm jumping off this boat. He jumps off the boat into the water. He swims to the shore. He's looking for Jesus, and he looks around for a little bit. He finds him. And what does he find Jesus doing? He finds Jesus off to the side, cooking fish. There are some moves in your life that God's been trying to get you to make. He has brought you all kind of instruction. Hey, you're in the right place, just turn to the other side. Or, hey, you need to move from here, over there. Giving you the unction that, hey, you've been right here too long. It's time for you to do something different. And you've been afraid to do it because nothing else you've tried has worked. Peter gets to the shore. He sees Jesus cooking fish. This time, he ain't got to catch it, cook it, clean it, or any of that. It's already prepared for him. If you had the courage to just do it, you might just find sweatless success waiting for you on the other side. Maybe this time you don't have to catch it, clean it, and cook it. Maybe if you jumped off, all you would have to do is enjoy it. Maybe the satisfaction and the peace and the contentment that you've been looking for is waiting for you to make a change. You can't put new wine in old skins. You destroy them both. You want something new, but you don't want to be new. Wine, once it has sat in that animal skin and started to ferment, it stretches that skin. You take new wine and put it in there. Now you stretch the skin beyond its capacity, and now you spill the wine and destroy the skin. Listen, the best way to be new is to be new. The only way to change is to change. It's scary. It's terrifying. There's no other way to change your life than to change your life. That's like if you can't change the person you with, maybe you have to change the person you with. Stop trying to get life to fit into your scheme. That's not how it goes. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And you, ma'am, sir, are standing in your own way. We really are our own worst enemy. Like Pogo, the cartoon from back in the day, I have found the enemy. It is us. How bad do you want it? How scared are you really? Because it seems like you would be scared to live your whole life and die miserable. Like that would be more scary than jumping off and potentially experiencing the goodness that God has for us. I don't know. Is it me? No. Is it? Because it could be me. It could very well be me. I know what it's like to leave home. All of my family, excuse me, I'm still getting over some congestion because it tried to get me. But I was not going gently into that good night. I tell you that. I know what it's like to leave home and leave my entire family because I heard go. I was terrified. I didn't have a job. I didn't have any of the amenities that I had when I was at home. All I had was a belief that this was going to be something better. That's it. And you know what? I was right. I got here and God was cooking fish. Jesus was cooking fish. She said spaghetti. It was the cheesiest spaghetti I'd ever had in my entire life. Oh, Lord. It was the cheesiest spaghetti I'd ever had. But I ain't have to fix it. I had a place to stay. I didn't have to worry about anything until I got a job. It was the leap. It was the jump. And there was so many pieces that God had that just came together for me. The pieces just, whew, listen. This not what we about to do. No. Let it out. No. The pieces just came together. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was going to do, what it was going to look like. All I knew, and I left for church. I attended a service and I knew that this was a piece that I needed. And I just said, I'm out. And everything worked out. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I understand the fears. I understand the concerns. I understand not knowing. I understand feeling afraid financially. I understand all of that. I got fired from a job for something that wasn't even my fault. Then got to this job, got laid off twice. In how many months? Back to back. I said, God, listen. Laid off twice, back to back. Took a position just because I can't sit at home. God, I can't sit at home. I don't know what's about to happen, but I know I can't sit at home. I took a limited part-time position, 12.5 hours a week. Okay? I had mortgage, car note, a kid, insurance, DTE, cell phone, cable. I didn't know what I was going to do. Listen, that 12.5 hour position, it took no benefits. Okay. Couldn't even be in the union. I didn't have enough hours to be a part of the union anymore. But I ended up working overtime just about every single pay period. I had 40 hours or more He took care of everything. And guess what? Now I'm the chair of the same union that I couldn't be a part of. And listen, there are some perks that come with that. You don't know what it's going to look like for you until you move, because all you get is light to take the next step. And yes, we want to see what's going to happen way down the road because we like to have a plan. I don't need a plan when I got the planner. Okay?
What you say?
I said I don't need a plan when I got the planner. Okay? It's his job to take care of the plan. It's my job to follow the instructions. It's my job to take the steps that he's already ordered for me. That's my job. When Michael Jackson did, was it Beat It or Billie Jean? When the ground would light up as he danced. When he did Billie Jean, and everywhere he danced, it would light up. It was years later when I found out that it was pre-lit. It was pre-lit. And they told Michael, listen, sir, we know you can dance. We understand you are the king of pop. Okay, you can move it like nobody else can move it. But these spaces, these squares, they already lit, sir. They are designed to light up with the beat. So you're going to have to make sure when you dance that your dance hit these squares because the squares are already lit. He's not lighting up the squares. The squares are lighting up and he's got to hit it on time. That's the way your life is. Your steps are already ordered and they are prepared. You, ma'am and sir, got to hit that square on time. And there's not one that you can hit on time being afraid to move. I can tell you that. If Michael had been standing off to the side, biting his fingernails, waiting, so I'm scared, not one would he have hit on time. Lamp into your feet, light into your path. You will absolutely get enough light to take that next step. Being afraid is only going to keep you in the dark. Move. Just try it. I know you're scared. Just do it. Do it afraid. I was afraid to write a book because I thought nobody's going to read this. Do it afraid. Some of the very people who encouraged me and told me to do it afraid are afraid. I was just telling my sister we all need that person to say, do it. We all need a do it person. You need a do it person in your corner. Somebody that's not going to let you just sit and be miserable. Somebody that's not going to let you. And I was like, it's always the person who's scared that have some of the best ideas. And you so scared all it'll ever be is a good idea if you don't have a person by your side telling you, hey, that's a good idea. That's not just good. That's God. Do it. You need that person. And then you do it, and now your idea has touched many. Your idea is now going across the world because of the person who made you do it. The person who pushed you off the curb. We all need a do it person. Hey, let me be your do it person because I've done it. Jump off there and see what happens. On the other side of that jump, on the other side of you being afraid, on the other side of you battling with that little coward that's in you, because we all got one. Come on the other side of you wrestling with him or her is the world that you've been waiting to live. It's the life you've been waiting to live, the world you've been waiting to see, the blessings you've been waiting to explore. The expansion of your territory is waiting on the other side of your fear. If you're too afraid to pick up your stakes and move them back, how does God expand your territory? God has no hands. You have the hands. So you've got to pick them up. You've got to pick up those stakes and move them back. They're not going to move on their own. I want to change my life. But I don't want my life to change. Then, ma'am, sir, I can promise you, your life won't change. You'll have just what you said. Do it different. If you're alive, if you're breathing, all you have is right now. The past is gone. You can't touch it. You can't undo it. There's absolutely nothing you can do with it. The future ain't here yet. It is not promised to you. All you have is right now. Do something with your now. This is your meantime. Do it. Jump. For just a few minutes, put your fear in a chokehold and make your fear jump off with you. Hey, if you're going to be here riding me, then you about to jump off this curb with me. Do it. Let me know how it turns out for you. Okay? All right. Any comments? Any questions? Feel free to put them down there. Or email me at rushn4@gmail.com. I would love to hear how you feel. Talk to me. Let's have a conversation. Until next time, be good to yourself and each other.